He's just a good old boy who loves burning rubber and driving fast.
Good morning, boys and girls. We are headed to TCI Automotive. We've got Dentley's Turbo 400 in the back. We've got the converter in the back. And I say this a lot, but I have a lot of history with TCI. And I just thought about this. I always say I have a lot of history with people because good people usually hang out with good people, and the folks at TCI are good people. And I'm going to tell you some stories as well that TCI had a huge involvement of me being a Topfuel guy, which may sound weird coming from a company that is known for building transmissions and converters. Off and running, leaving Drummond's now. Let's go. Here we are, TCI Automotive. Man, there is some stories I'm going to tell about coming down here to Ashland, Mississippi, long time ago. And in a roundabout way, that's how I ended up in a Topfuel car. Let's go inside and see Mr. Jeff Reed. Right in the front lobby here, TCI. Y'all check that out. There is the Werner dragster, and if you notice, if it'll show up, you will see there's a TCI logo right there on the old Werner car. That's pretty cool. All right, so in the front door, showed y'all the Werner car with the TCI logo on it. Long-time friend, Mr. Jeff Reed.
Been a while.
Jeff, me and you were starting to head down memory lane here. And we were looking at this photo of the original TCI plant. And as soon as I saw that, I told you, 16 years old, Mama let me come down here to bring a 727 converter. And I told you, Sheldon Gecker and Joe Covert were in the parking lot. And you started to tell a story, and I'm like, we might as well get this. You said, when did you start at TCI?
I started January of '84.
Golly, dude, that's the year I graduated.
Yeah, been here, be 41 years this month.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but it's many Monday mornings you pull in the parking lot, and it was always on Mondays, and you would see Gecker, Joe, Steve Cone.
Yep.
And sometime the Edmund boy, Edmund and Scotty. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, the whole street was like lined up with rigs.
Yeah.
Those chaparral trailers.
Oh man. Man.
It was.
I cannot believe you've been here 41 years. I knew it'd been a long time, but I just didn't realize
41 years, yeah.
Didn't realize it's that. So way back, me and Jeff would go to the racetrack in Memphis, and TCI would rent it. And man, we would run some converters through my old Duster and my old dragster. And the last time I remember us testing, we were trying to go from an Opel style converter to a Saturn in the 8-inch stuff.
Yeah.
Man, that's been a while ago.
Yeah, and we're still using both of them. I mean, the Opel is the best core out there.
Oh,
I mean,
I know.
you can't beat it. But until and I don't forgot who actually made all this Opel. I want to say A1 done it.
Maybe.
So now, I mean, they're still in production. I mean, I don't like the Saturn core. It just back to back, it just don't work.
I remember when we first did it. Of course, I had a TCI transmission cooler on my Duster. The first run, it got so hot it melted the anodizing off of it. I don't know if you remember that, but we just kept trying and we got it to work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I did not realize y'all were still using an Opel converter. I didn't even think you could find cores anymore.
I mean, actually, it's a brand new piece.
Oh, it's brand new.
The stator, the turbine, the pump, the front, everything's brand new.
Wow, that's crazy.
Brand new.
But they work.
Oh yeah. That's the bracket racing converter. That and the Toyota core.
Really? See, I don't know nothing about it.
The 9.5-inch Toyota.
I don't know nothing about a Toyota core.
Some people call it a 10-inch. We got a 9.5 Nissan. We got a 9.5 Toyota, and they work. So when you're kind of highlighting one of your longtime sponsors, you don't talk about braking stuff. But
I'm a professional at breaking stuff, Jeff. I do it all the time. And so we got Dentley's transmission down here. If you're going to have somebody fix your transmission, it's this guy, and we'll dig into it. Jeff will let us know what we did to it, but I'm excited to be here. Yeah. We're going to go to work. All right, got the old Turbo 400 on the operating table here. Tell everybody who you are on the channel.
Well, my name is Kevin Miller.
And how long you been busting these things apart and fixing them?
About 13, 14 years now.
You done seen everything broke then, and I'm like the expert at it.
I have seen a lot of stuff broke.
But one thing I do know, coming down here, it will get fixed. And Jeff done said when it was built 5 years ago, it wasn't built for no 1,000 horsepower.
No. We're fixing to fix that.
Like typical racers, we steadily increase what we're planning on doing, and it turns into something else. When you've had this thing put together the first time, it was supposed to have been a
758 horsepower
at max.
Yeah.
And then Jeff Lutz got involved, and it became twin turbo.
I wasn't gonna say that. You know,
Let's blame Jeff Lutz, not Jeff you. Oh man. Yeah. You can tell it's set for a while. It's got a little surface rust on it. That's interesting.
They burnt, but they ain't burnt up.
Yeah, but dang.
That's the second gear.
Okay. It don't smell good, I can tell you that.
Turbo car.
Yeah, that
Turbo car.
The staging process is rough on them automatics. TCI taught me how to do power glides years and years ago, brother. I don't know if I could do it again. But this thing got a few more parts and pieces than a power glide. Power glide a little bit more simple.
Yeah.
You found it, huh?
That's the reason it locks up in reverse.
Woo!
Ain't got no material lift.
Yeah.
That's the reason it's slipping all the way down the track.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I'll be dang. So that's probably a lot of ET right there, ain't it, brother?
A lot of ET. Yeah.
We're going to blame the operator on that.
Time for some upgrades.
The rest of them don't look bad, though. Them, I overdid it on them, that's for sure. Dang. So what do those clutches operate?
Forward.
Forward.
In forward gear, that's on all the time.
So it
Applied.
first, second, and third gear.
Yeah.
I'll be dang.
Forward clutch stays on at all time. Of course, you know, you got second gear clutch that comes on. Then
Right.
goes second, then your direct clutch.
Right. All right, Jeff. I'm rough on it. You keep saying that, but you've got to look at it. You got all the parts laid out here. Knowing now it's over 1,000 at the tire, 1,000 at the tire. You said you didn't build it for that to start with. So what are you going to do?
Well, we can upgrade, put more clutches in forward. It's got 5 now. We'll probably go with 7. Direct clutches, probably going to go from 5 to 7 in them, and probably bump the line pressure up on it a little bit for that heavy truck. But you know,
Yeah, we are moving a tank basically.
Yeah.
I like it. And then you got to make a decision what you want to do right there.
Yeah, I got to get that cut open and make it mile an hour a little bit more.
I am totally in your hands. You've taken care of me forever when we do this stuff, and I trust whatever you want to do. You're the expert.
Yeah.
I'm the stomp on the loud pedal guy and field test it every now and then.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yep. So I kept mentioning history and TCI. Yep. It's story time. Story time with Clay. That's what we're fixing to do. So I'm going to grab this group of photos on that board from eons ago. I got a couple of them up there. But I'm going to grab that right quick. I'm going to show y'all a couple of them, and I'm going to talk about TCI, my history with them, a dear, dear friend that help me get where I'm at. Let me grab that. Story time, coming up. Story time, you ready? So how do I even get into this? Because it's a lot of my life story, but I am going to shorten it up because if you're visiting this channel very often, you know I like to talk. So I'm going to tell you at 16 years old, I had a Dodge Charger, first car that I ever took to a racetrack, had a 383 and a 727 torque flat in it, and I heard it. Imagine that, Dentley sitting back there with a hurt transmission. I am a pro at braking stuff. So I know there's a racing transmission company in Ashland, Mississippi. Probably the first real trip Mom and Daddy let me take. It's, I don't know, whatever it is, 75, 80, 100 miles down to Ashland. From here, I go down there. I've already mentioned pulling in the parking lot, seeing Sheldon Gecker and Joe Covert, and was just fascinated. Of course, back then it was 901-835. I don't know whose phone number that is now, but that used to be B&M Grocery, Mom and Daddy's little grocery store. So I call and say, hey, I made it, I'm here. Can I stay a while? Sheldon Gecker is here. He was a hero I followed in the magazines because he had a little Omni Charger, King Kong on the side of it, Mopar guy. So that was me back then. Anyway, through all of this, I meet this guy who was so nice to me. I don't honestly know if he was the vice president of TCI at the moment or not, but irregardless, he was a racer himself. His name is Raymond King. And here's where I've got to be careful and make this story go a little quicker, because Raymond King, one of the finest people you will have ever met. Virtually no one that he wouldn't help, including a 16-year-old me. So we got my converter fixed, whatever. Rock on along, Raymond's racing, I'm racing, but I'm racing at a very small local level. And eventually, I got Raymond's home phone number. I call him at home and I ask, how can I go about racing at some of the bigger races? Well, it was just, things happen for a reason, right place, right time, however you want to put that. I called at the correct time. Now that I think about it, Raymond was probably salesman when I first met him and then moved up to vice president of TCI. So his ability to go racing was slowing down, but yet he still wanted to be involved. So he really started helping me. And I want people to know that TCI did not sponsor racers. They would help racers. So I'm speeding through this story here. So Raymond started helping me go to some races. I took my first ever plane flight thanks to Raymond, because he literally hauled my first dragster to Denver, Colorado, and I raced Super Comp there. And fast forward a little more, I'm going to shorten this story up a whole lot because, again, it involves so much of my life. One of these days we'll do videos where they're specifically dialed in instead of telling a story about TCI. So we're fast forwarding here. Raymond, while working at TCI, the company got purchased by the Felpro Gasket Company. So one step back before I get to that. So I was mentioning TCI did not sponsor racers, but what Raymond did to help me get to more races was I started hauling a TCI display trailer. Sometimes it was my truck and trailer, whatever, which was not a very nice truck and trailer. In all reality, it was actually Raymond's truck. Me and him made a horse trade, and I ended up with this 92 Dodge Dually named Billy Hop. If you ever rode in it, you'd know why it was named Billy Hop. So I'm hauling this display for TCI, helping customers at the racetrack, taking transmissions that needed rebuilt back to Ashland, Mississippi, torque converters, whatever the case may be. I even learned, I mentioned it earlier in this video, I learned how to rebuild power glides because that was the biggest thing that you did at the racetrack was, you know, put some high gear clutches in a power glide. So Felpro buys TCI, and at that point, they knew Raymond was so good at his job. He got moved from, he lived in Collierville, Tennessee, but he got moved to Skokie, Illinois, home of Felpro. So through that, I'm now hauling the TCI display trailer and a Felpro gasket display. Again, they're not paying me, but what they did do was pay for my fuel for the truck. And that was amazing because it allowed me to then, the only thing I had to worry about was keeping the car running and paying my entry fee. So it was a huge help. While they didn't sponsor me, I was working for that. That was how he helped me. So let's move forward again a little bit. Raymond is now at TCI, and they were having a company picnic. Felpro Gaskets, owned by the Lehman family, had been for I think 4 generations. And so I stop at the company picnic in my old 92 Dodge Dually, a TCI Chaparral trailer that weighed 1,000,000 pounds. I rolled the dragster out, started up, vroom, vroom, whacked the throttle a few times anyway. So I meet this young man that day. I met a lot of people that day, but his name was Peter Lehman. A lot of y'all will already know where I'm headed with this story, but so I meet Peter Lehman that day. Fast forward to the end of that race season, Raymond calls me and says, "Hey, do you remember meeting Peter Lehman?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do, kinda, sorta." And the reason I remembered that was because I knew his dad ran the company. And I also knew that his family owned the company. So he said, "Here's Peter's phone number. You need to call him because he wants to ride with you to the last race of the year, which was Darlington, South Carolina, IHRA national event. And he wants to write about it for a non-fictional writing class he was taking at Northwestern University." So I call Peter and I tell him, you could fly to Charlotte or, find somewhere to fly and I'll pick you up. And he said, "Nope, you don't understand. I want to be a part of everything you do to go racing." Well, as luck would have it, bad luck, my truck got broken into and the dash tore all out of it. Dentley. Billy Hop, my old dually. So I had to borrow a truck and a friend named Marvin Trotter. Donna and Marvin showed up at work. I worked at the Kroger Food Warehouse. I worked night shift. When I got off work, we just had all this timed out. I picked Peter Lehman up from the airport in Memphis. I drive all night long to Darlington, South Carolina, and he's making little notes along the way and asking, "Why are you doing this? It's obvious you're spending all your money, blah, 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 blah." I'm going to save our Peter Lehman story, but to finish that up, I won my first ever national event that weekend, and Peter, thanks to Raymond King, ended up buying a Topfuel team, and here we are. So Raymond had so much to do with my first ever trade show, teaching me things that I had no idea about, teaching me how to interact with sponsors, business partners, whatever you want to call it. That was my college. I barely graduated high school. That's just the fact. He gave me my college learning by interacting with people that I never would interact with and learning that every person you meet, you might can help them, and in turn they might can help you, and in a roundabout way they can help you make your living. And Raymond did that for me. And he's just an amazing man that we lost a few years ago. I called him my second dad because he was. I had my daddy that I loved very, very much. But Raymond was the guy that was in the automotive industry, and he was pretty much a legend in that industry. The things he did, the things he was able to do, and just an incredible man. I've got this board of pictures back here behind me. I could go on and on and on, but let me just tell you, one of the finest people that was ever on this earth, Raymond King. He, for whatever reason, took me under his wing, helped me go to some national events, helped me learn how to race basically for a living, to be honest with you. Even if it wasn't racing, I could have went into the automotive aftermarket thanks to his training that I got from standing around at trade shows, either handing out just brochures for TCI and then Felpro, to being invited to sit in on some of the dinners, all those things. But anyway, I could go down that rabbit hole, but I'm gonna grab this board behind us, show y'all some of these cool old photos that were up there, and I'll probably tell a couple more stories about Raymond King. Okay, here we go. This board, I'm just going to move. Let me find the one I want to show y'all. So this is Raymond, and I don't have any idea on this, but you'll see we have some family photos here. There's Raymond with a spoon on his nose, with a mustache. Raymond probably when he was graduating Vanderbilt. And there's just a lot of cool old photos. There's little Dalton. There is Keelan Hooten, and this is the first new dragster I ever had that Raymond helped me build. And you'll see here, there's that dragster and Raymond and my first cousin Mike Hayes, who also became the clutch man on the Topfuel car. There's another dragster that Raymond helped us with Danny Nelson, and another dear friend Eugene and Mike Hayes. This is like probably not the most exciting thing for y'all. This dragster here was built as a top dragster by Danny Nelson, and if you can see that, it says Lehman Racing. Well, by this point, Raymond is really helping me. Oh, here's a cool one. There's the TCI Chaparral trailer that I was talking about, weighed 1,000,000 pounds. Raymond, myself, Mike Hayes, have no idea what racetrack that's at. My first dragster, a Duster. We called that the Devil Car. I had won a race somewhere. I don't know where that was. There's a Raymond, probably college time, with a crazy beard. That's his son Ryan. Just some more old photos here, but I really wanted to show y'all those. There's Brett Kepner. But Raymond was just such a big part of everything that I did. There's another photo of Raymond, and that is Fuzzy Carter sitting on the golf cart with Raymond. Fuzzy Carter being Eddie Hill's crew chief back in the day. Even then, I was thinking about Topfuel for sure. Oh, here's a cool one. That is at Bristol, and that is Raymond King and Scott Kofel. Kofel's place built the engines for that car, which was another thing Raymond helped make happen. I'm just telling you, big part of my life. That's the TCI connection. Oh, I gotta show you one. Gotta show you one more. So look right there on that dragster. TCI decals all on there. Raymond and TCI had a whole lot to do with me being in a Topfuel car. Plain and simple. So I mentioned being loyal and history. There's a story that I could have rambled on for a lot longer. And if you made it this far in the video, you are awesome. I appreciate you guys so much. This off season cannot get over soon enough. I'm ready to go racing. I'm sure y'all are ready to see some nitro burning and me not in this shop out here talking to y'all. But thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, sharing. Those comments, I appreciate them. This off season, I've had more time to answer some of them, and it's fun. See you in the next one.